Well, welcome back to Conqu'ring Heroes. My guest today, Warde Manuel. We're going to start off the athletic year with the athletic director. Seems appropriate. We're going to do this one on video, and we'll do some select ones on video throughout the course of the year. They won't all be available for video, but today's is. And I want to let you know ahead of time that I'm not going to discuss the penalties that the NCAA levied just a couple of weeks ago. Warde is not going to make any further comment about the NCAA or their decision and the case at this time, but we're going to talk about a lot of other things that are involved with the athletic department and the excitement that is the start of a new athletic season. I also want to let you know that Champion Circle is the leading Michigan athletics fan engagement community. Champion Circle connects fans with once-in-a-lifetime experiences, produces public and private events, offers club memberships, and operates an online retail store that features exclusive apparel, trading cards, autographs, and other memorabilia. To become a member or learn more about how you can help or how you can engage with your favorite Michigan student athletes, visit ChampionCircleUofM.com. That's ChampionCircleUofM.com. Champion Circle is a proud sponsor of the University of Michigan Athletics. Well, as promised, I'm here to kick off the new academic and athletic year with Athletic Director Warde Manuel. Warde, thanks for joining me. How was your summer?
Summer was great, actually.
Yeah.
It's always good to be here particularly around this time, because of the excitement of all the seasons beginning, and now all the students back and all the student athletes are back. But I had a great summer. Looking forward to this year. Got some relaxation in, rejuvenated myself, and ready to go.
And you had a wedding. I didn't know about that. I don't know I don't know how much you want to share about it, but what was it like? I've got daughters, and I know at some point, what was it like to walk your daughter down the aisle?
It was really special.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. She got married, Emma, to a great young man named Corwin in May. And I was happy for her, that she found someone that she loved, that makes her happy, and so walking down the aisle was fine. The only time I almost broke down is when I gave her away. I think I hit a few. All right, good luck. High pitch.
I can only imagine.
It was fun. It was beautiful. She looked beautiful. Everybody had a great time. She had a great time. And
Choreographed first dance?
No, she didn't want to do
that. No, you didn't get down?
No. Oh, I got down. My nickname in college was Dancing Bear, and so I got down at the wedding. I had a good time, but she and I just did a great, father-daughter dance, and it was special. And again, to see your daughter happy,
yeah.
I mean, that's the deal. But I will tell you, save your money.
That's what I hear.
A lot of my friends told me that. I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah,
save your money.
All right. Well, congratulations on that. And we talked about new academic year, new athletic year. What are some of the things that the athletic department does to welcome student athletes back to campus, and especially new ones with either transfers or freshmen, to get them acclimated with all the resources that they have? Yeah,
well, years ago we started a great event. The Sunday before, we have a picnic for our student athletes to welcome them back, and it's always a great time with food trucks and games and get together to have them come together, see each other, reunite after being away all summer. And so that's always a great experience that we have for them. And then they're the individual meetings that they have to welcome them back with academics and compliance and leadership and all those things, to get them back into the spirit of being on the team. There's physicals, there's all kind of things that we have in terms of a process that welcomes them back, but also coordinates it for them so that it's seamless, for them to interact and, along with, their practices and their timing with their coaches. So everything is, was prepared, and then, we execute when they come back.
There's some new faces with the coaches. Let's talk first about those that have retired. Marcia Pankratz with field hockey, and also Bev Palaki, who's been here forever with the women's gymnastics. What was it like when you had those conversations, or they had the conversation with you about stepping down?
Yeah, it's hard. You know, it's hard because I've known them both for a long, long time. You know, between, you know, when I was a student athlete here, you know, shortly after I finished, Bev came, and obviously Jim, her husband, was one of our strength coaches. So I've known him since I was a student athlete here. Because you know the passion that they have and the success that they have, the type of people they are, how they treat in those two particular cases, the young women on the team, and how much they love them. It was very difficult, you know, for me to know that they were stepping aside. But, you know, on the flip side of that, you also realize when you want to support people when they realize for them that it's time. You know, it's time for me to step away and turn it over to others. But both of them, I always talk about our coaches who are legends. You know, they are legends. Marcia won our first ever national championship in women's athletics. And then Bev followed that up with her national championship a few years ago, but also is the winningest coach in terms of Big Ten titles in Michigan's history. And so when you look at both of them, as remarkable as their careers were, they're even better people. And I want to support them. And so I tried to talk both of them out of and waiting a few years until we can go out together. And they said, well, when are you ready to go? I go, I'm not sure. So they're like, well, we can't wait that long, you know. And so, but I miss them both, but both are staying on as special advisors to me and helping with their programs that they just, you know, left. And we'll talk about the hiring of both of their assistants, but they're also going to help with other things in the department and speaking and development and those kind of things. So it'll be immensely. They'll continue to be immensely helpful to the success of the department.
It's great to know that they'll still be around. So field hockey, Christy Gannon-Fisher takes over for Marcia. And what in your eyes, what does she bring to the program? Obviously a legacy here at Michigan, but what does she bring to the program?
Well, for one, you know, she knows Michigan field hockey inside and out. I mean, she was a two-time All-American here. She was on the national championship team that I talked about a minute ago. And so Christy is developed underneath Marcia for 2 stints as assistant coach. And so she had a remarkable plan that she put forth about how she is going to continue the success and drive the success of our field hockey program. And so I was, you know, really liked what she was talking about in her understanding of what she wanted to do to take the program forward. And so I'm looking forward to that. And then on top of that, not only did I offer her the job and the day, I also said there's a second thing I have to talk to you about, because I get the honor of reaching out to our Hall of Honor class. And she's going to be inducted into our Hall of Honor this year for what she did as a student athlete during her time here at Michigan. And so I was able to talk to her about both at the same time. So it was a special to talk to her and to see her reaction to both. She's really excited. I know they've been working hard as their season is starting here very soon.
And for women's gymnastics, another assistant got the promotion, Myliana Caneva-Hermelin. What have you seen from her, and what was that process like in trying to replace Bev Palaki?
You know, Bev had talked to me about Miley for a number of years in terms of how she felt about her and her development and what she had been doing for the program. Again, a career where she was a 2-time national champion during her time at Oklahoma on women's gymnastics team. Then she was an assistant for our national championship here. And Bev was really effusive about her, but again, it was another case I love to tell you I just do what the coaches tell me to do. I don't. I want to know what they have envisioned, and I think in the same vein as Christy Miley put it in her words, her terms, because I'm not looking. They can't replace the head coach.
Right.
They can't be the head coach. So I want to know, what's your plan? How are you laying it out? And she was really impressive, really excited about the leadership of the program, where it could go, the recruiting. She understood the ins and outs of who we have on the team, who we're still going after, who we're talking to. Great respect across the country. I talked to a couple of people that I knew in women's gymnastics that gave me some feedback about her that was just terrific. And so she is taking off very quickly. And then in both cases, I was there to announce it after the coaches had told the team that they were leaving. And in both cases, one of the best things you can get as an athletic director when you're announcing a new coach is that the team starts to react in a very positive.
Yeah.
They started clapping. Some of them continued to cry after they were shedding some tears that their coach was leaving. They were so happy. And so that speaks volumes to them as assistants, in how they have already have a significant, tremendous connection to the ladies on the team.
I mentioned it's been a long summer, it's been a long off season from the end of the academic and athletic year last year to where we are now, but it's been a busy summer. You were out in Pasadena for the Rose Bowl Foundation, the 1902 statue. Not just that, so it's 1902 statue is only one of 6 statues that are at the Rose Bowl.
Correct.
Bo's he's been in the Hall of Fame, but they also put a plaque up for him, and that's separate from being in the Hall of Fame, correct?
Right.
What were those 2 moments like, being out there at the Rose Bowl for your coach and somebody that's meant so much to this university, but also that 1902 team?
It was unbelievable. I didn't know really what to expect. And then we got out there. We had breakfast beforehand, and Shimmy spoke about his dad and at the breakfast. And then we went outside and we did the ceremony outside of the statue for the 1902 team. It was covered. I had seen a replica of it and pictures of what it was going to be. But that's when it was in clay, so I didn't really get a chance. You can't see all the details.
Right.
And so just to listen to all of the speakers that were there and talking about Bo, talking about the 1902 team, what that meant to the Rose Bowl, what it meant for college football, to hear Kathy Schimbeckler talk about how Bo, what she thought Bo would have said about this recognition for him. He coached 21 years here, 10 Rose Bowls, and he put the placard for him outside of Portal 21 to represent him with the 21 years of coaching at Michigan. And so it was just quite an honor. I mean, it was just so, great to experience and to be a part of, and to see the recognition of that 1902 team means a lot, in our history at Michigan, to have been in the first Rose Bowl. We talk about it all the time, and I said when I spoke, Bo always reminded us that we played in the first, the granddaddy of them all, and so it was special for that team, but it was also obviously, as a former player for Bo, to see them honor him the way that they did. It was really special. And so that was a tremendous experience.
Were there some other former Bo players there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was, there was probably 50 or so that came to the event. Dick Calderazzo from the 1969 team spoke. Rich Hewlett and John Wangler spoke about their experience there. John was the quarterback when Bo won his first Rose Bowl. So, you have that experience of listening to some of the stories, listening to some of the reflections around Bo. In particular, it just was so special to be a part of.
Not the only statue that went up this summer. Tom Brady also got one outside of Foxborough. Taller than I remember him.
Much taller.
Yeah. And it's always amazing to me how difficult it is sometimes to get an individual's likeness actually on a statue.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on how they did with the Tom Brady statue?
I thought it was fine. You know, I thought it was fine. I mean, you know,
as a former teammate, we'll pick it apart any way we possibly can.
We'll tease him.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I would say in general, I mean, I think they captured him. They captured the excitement. I think they captured in his face how intense he was as a player.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, I thought it was very well done. It is a large statue. I mean, I don't know how tall that thing is, but it looks like 12
10 or 12 feet. Yeah.
I mean, it's really large. So, and I loved his comments when he said it gives the Jets fans something to throw their beers against when we beat them. You know, typical Tom still digging at people, but I thought it was wonderful and a wonderful recognition for him and all that he did for the Patriots in his career.
Let's shift a little bit to the business side of things. For the athletic department, there's some new line items, right? It's the revenue share, the $20 million that's new to the budget. It's the increased scholarships. Where is the athletic department at financially as we enter this new year?
Well, I think, you know, with the help of the university, I mean, we are able to have a solid budget, you know, for this year with the help of our fans who purchase tickets and suite holders and some of the things that we've done. You know, we've added the concert here this summer. Looking forward to that. We had an event with golf.
Yeah, the Upper Deck Golf.
Upper Deck Golf, which was phenomenal.
Did you take any swings?
I was out of town. I was at the wedding. I literally,
yeah, kids. They're always right.
I wanted to, man. They sent me pictures. I saw how everything was going to be set up. Sent me pictures, and but it was phenomenal. I heard from many friends who participated and thought it was just terrific. And so we'll continue to think about things of that nature to make sure that we're not solely just relying on the backs of our fans or the wallets of our fans to just support it as we grow and as we have needs. You know, this year was made tougher because of this long-standing contract. This contract was done. I've been here, this is my 10th year. I think it was done 12 or 13 years ago when Oklahoma, so we only have 6 games this year because we're away. And we like to have 7 home games, not for a budgetary purpose, but also for our fans, you know, to enjoy. Next year the following year we'll have 6 again. And then we'll be in the cycle where we're at 7 or 8, you know, moving forward. So, you know, that we're going to get through. We have great support from donors, like I said, our fans, and my staff is coming up with great ideas, and we're able to, you know, successfully have a first concert in Michigan Stadium. We wanted to have it. The one thing I said to Rob Rodemaker, who's done an amazing job at putting this all together, is I want the first one to be in the round so we could sell it out, the entire stadium. And he was able to accomplish that. And so I'm looking forward to Zach Bryan and the concert on, what was it, 27th, I think?
Yeah, coming up one of the bye weeks.
Yeah, it's the first bye week, but I think it's the 27th.
And is that, obviously we're hoping it goes off without a hitch. Those are some things in the big house that you want to continue to have. We
would like to do it. I mean, we're not, listen, this is not going to be a concert venue in and of itself. But we would like to utilize it more to drive revenue, to get fans in here who may not have seen it, who are get excited about being in the stadium and seeing it for the first time in person. But sure, we need to drive revenue in a different way, as opposed to, like I've said, that we're just going to increase ticket prices and do nothing else. I mean, we're not sitting around just thinking about ways to increase ticket prices only. We're looking at ways to drive revenue to support everything we're doing in the department and continue the success that we've had and our fans expect.
On the heels of week 0, we saw a game played in Dublin, Ireland, and we've heard that Michigan will be playing Western Michigan next year to start the season in Germany. What was the motivation, and is it another revenue generator for Michigan, even though it's going to be overseas?
So let me just draw back for a second. We have not agreed to do it 100%.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
We're still evaluating and we're still looking at it. Long term, it will drive revenue. That's the goal, that
Okay.
it will drive more revenue. What we're trying to figure out is all the details to do it, and if we move it next year at all. That decision will come probably in the next 4 to 5 weeks as to whether we'll do it. But it's quite exciting, obviously. Similar to the NFL, you want to drive more fans by reaching out into a new market, a new international. Michigan is an international brand, not just a national brand. It does have the ability to potentially drive more revenue in the short term. In the long term, yes, definitely. I mean, we're looking at that, and we want to tap that. And it was an opportunity that when we talked to Western and their athletic director, and he talked to their coach, that they were excited about. We have, the experience of doing international trips. This would be an opportunity for us to do an international trip with this group of student athletes and play a game, which is something that we couldn't do in the summers where we traveled. It's, Frankfurt is a big city in Germany. It's not like Berlin or Munich, but it's closer to some of our Air Force bases and some of our military bases over there. And so we also could have the tie into some of our military. And so we're looking at it, we're exploring it, we have gone into great detail. My staff, several of my staff just came back from a site visit over there to look at it in person and to figure out some of the details. And so we're getting closer and closer to whether or not we will make a decision. And obviously it'll be something that I talk to the president about and talk to our board about. But it's in a year where we have 8 home games. So the feeling was that we could move that game from week 1 at home to week 0 over in Frankfurt, Germany. And so we'll see if we do it. But it is quite exciting. The team is excited about it. Sharon talked to them shortly before it became public. And there was a lot of excitement from the team. And so we're working to figure it out, but there's a lot of positives to it.
And I mean, we've got a couple of German players on the team as well, so they'll get a chance to play in front of family, friends.
That's another positive, right? Exactly.
College football playoffs. I know you have intimate knowledge of the entire system. Are you relieved not to be the head man anymore?
I am relieved to, after 3 years, when they approached me, I was honored to be asked to be on the committee in general. And they said it's a 3-year commitment. And so I said, sure, I'm willing to make a 3-year commitment. It is a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work watching the film, looking at data, watching and talking about games with, 12 others. There's 13 on the committee that can vote. And so I was honored to be asked to be chair. And I enjoyed immensely being on the committee, and being chair of the committee was something that I embraced. But I am happily retired from the CFP committee, and I say that, like I said, with all good feelings about the experience. But the amount of work, the amount of time it took, I'll be glad to be able to attend in the month of November, and particularly a lot of our home games, particularly in the fall, where a lot of our seasons are starting. Some of the games are, really matter towards Big Ten. And being able to be there to cheer our teams on during that time. And so I wish them well. As the past chair said to me, I said to the current chair, Mac Rhodes, I said, Mac, if you need me, give me a call. If you don't worry about it.
Some tweaks this year in the college football playoff system. Still 12 teams, but there's no more, the seed is going to be straight seeding.
Yeah.
Do you like the change, the tweak that they've made this year?
100%. I was an advocate for it. I thought, as one of the most confusing things as the chair that I had to explain was in the last week. And I think ESPN did a really good job. Reese Davis and the crew are unbelievable in the way that they explain things. They did a good job at moving things around. But until it's the final week, you don't see it, and then you see the outcome of the games. And I say the outcome of the games because you have teams who were 9, I believe, and 12 go into the 3 and 4 position, and the teams that were 3 and 4 slid out, so they didn't get a bye. They hosted a home game. Oregon's first game was on the road, and they were seeded number 1 in the seeding. So, the question is, does it really work out that we need to do that? And I think the commissioners got together and understood. It made it very difficult to explain. Besides the fact that you won, why 9 and 12 get a bye and 3 and 4 just because they won a league when they didn't have the season that those other 2 teams that were 3 and 4 that got bounced out. So then there's some arguments, the pros and cons of do you sit a week or do you not? All those kind of things I'll leave to the analysts to talk about. But, yeah, I am extremely happy that they've gone to straight seeding. And if, like last year, a team like Clemson, who won the ACC, is out of the top 12, they would move into the 12th position. Now, number 12 would get bounced, but at least they're not moving into from number seed. 12 to
1
3
or 2,
or 4, whatever it is. And so I think they made a great decision.
We spent 10 years with 4 teams. Now this is going to be the second year with 12. What do you think the future looks like for the college football playoffs? Are we going to eventually have 16 teams? What do you want to see happen?
Well, I think, the one thing I'll say to people is that no matter what ideas are brought forth, all the commissioners, all 10 of the commissioners that are around the table are trying to do what's in the best interest of college football. And I think our fans tend to react and think, somebody's trying to, if your team is in the Big Ten, and somebody from the SEC or another conference says something, you think, they're trying to get an advantage, and vice versa. They're all trying to do what's in the best interest of college football. And I think some of the ideas that are out there, there's some people who really dislike the fact that a committee chooses who the top 25 is, and that's what we have.
Yeah.
Why can't we do it on the playing field? You can't do it on the playing field because we have 134 teams in Division I. And you can't devise a system to play. You may as well start November 1, right, playing games to figure it out. So the question and some of the things that have come up I like because it is sort of play-in opportunities for teams to play themselves into the playoffs, which I think is the expansion to 16 or 24 or 28 was thrown out there, I think. So you have some ability to play in, you have some ability to start playing games against each other in terms of different leagues ahead of time. And so I think they should all be discussed and be open about it, as opposed to people picking away at different aspects. The selection, how is so-and-so selected over so-and-so?
Right,
we have a better schedule. We have a stronger league. It's all these kind of debates and discussions. All right, just find a way to play it on the field. And if you do that, then you get rid of a lot of the subjectivity is what the word people use.
Was comparing schedules one of the hardest things for the committee to do? Is when you're looking at whether it's an SEC schedule, a Big Ten schedule. I know the SEC is going to go to 9 games. That is going to help.
Yeah, it'll help.
But, the Big 12 and the ACC, there's been a lot of discussion about the depth of talent in those conferences. Was that the hardest thing to decipher when you were trying to come up with the top 12 teams?
It is hard to match schedules when people are not playing a lot of the same
opponents,
teams. Yeah. And so that is extremely difficult, particularly across leagues, right? And again, it's subjective. when any league says our schedule is tougher than anybody else's, our teams are tougher than anybody else's, we have more talent than anybody else. I mean, you play games, and we watch the games, and we analyze the way the teams are performing up to, I think, the first 8 weeks. Then we meet for the first ranking, and then you watch each week after that. And so, some of the back and forth of it and how do you compare comes up to a certain degree, but it's really what we're seeing with our eyes, what's on the data from the games, how teams are performing. All those things go into play, and it's a discussion. And you sit around the table and you discuss it, you debate it, you argue it, you make your points, and then you vote. And the vote comes out the way it does. Then we, review that vote and make sure we get it right, and then it's announced. I mean, it's just it's not. No system is perfect, but it's better than the computer choosing it.
I'd agree with that.
It's better than, different ranking systems coming together to choose it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we grew up in an era. You won a national championship at a time when it was the computers,
right?
That generated who played who and who was voted the number one team or number two. And so it's I think it's the best system that we have right now.
Let's talk a little bit. You mentioned it earlier when we were talking about Christy Gannon-Fisher for field hockey. She's going into the Hall of Honor. There's 7 members. Brian Deemer is one of them, cross country and track and field. Leon Kim, men's golf. Kevin Porter for hockey. Myself for football.
I was just about to say, you're missing one.
I was getting there. But then let's get to the true legends, and that's the coaches, because their body of work over so many years. And there's 2 great legends here, Jack Harvey for men's track and field, and one of my all-time favorite coaches, Carol Hutchins from women's softball.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on this class?
Well, I'll take Jack first because he was my coach. I was on the track and field team for 2 years, and there's no. Jack could have coached any sport. He came up in a time. He cared deeply about us as athletes, and really, focused and helped us get the most out of our ability. He did a lot of the field events and oversaw the entire team, but really focused and coached a lot of the field events. And so to have that call with him was special for me, having been a student athlete underneath him. Hutch, I can go on. We don't have enough time for me to talk about how much she means to this university, to the sport of softball, being a winningest coach in softball history, all the things she went through and all the ways she changed women's athletics for the better across the board, in her constant, fight for things to be done, right, from a Title IX perspective. And then, as a coach, I mean, her success, I mean, she never had a losing season in 38 years, I believe it was. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, at
it's
some
remarkable.
point, you're bound to
have an injury, something happens.
Something happens, and that's just remarkable. Then again, the winningest coach in college softball history, having won the national title, and what was it, 2005, I believe. Yeah. She is just remarkable, and then as a person, she is unbelievable. Yeah. Outstanding. You know her well. I just can't. Both of them just mean so much to me that it's so deserving. Matter of fact, when I got the list, I thought both were in. Seriously, I thought, what are we doing? Why?
Yeah, how is Hutch not in already?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but it's tremendous. I'm looking forward to the whole event. And congratulations to you. Well-deserved recognition for your career and all you've done.
So I've got to share a quick story with our listeners because I had the same feeling when you called. I'm like, oh, Ward's calling. I'm like, this could go one of two ways. Like, what's going on? Am I fired? Or is there something else going on? And it was kind of the same like when Lloyd would call, right? You never really knew what the reason was. So, you obviously had to take the call. And at that time, right, it was, hey, somebody summoned you and you went to the office,
yes.
which that walk to Schembeckler Hall in his office was always a little bit dreaded.
Yeah.
Did you have that same feeling after you were done and Bo would call you? Like, there's still this, as a player, like you never are that far removed from playing for your coach.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait a second, what did I do?
100%, man. I got in trouble with the old man a couple of times, so I knew what that call to show up in the office was about, and the walk, and not knowing what I was going to get when I walked through that door. And but thankfully, both incidents were in my freshman year, so he got it out of me very quickly. Him and my father. And so it's always special in all the coaches we talked about today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure all of like you and I had the experience, all of the student athletes who were lucky enough to have them as their coach feel the same way.
Yeah.
And it's an honor also when they reach out just to talk to you.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Lloyd did it to you. Bo did it with me. Or I'd see him in the hallway when I worked here before and run into him and he'd say, hey, come here.
Yeah.
How you doing? How's your family? Hey, they're doing good. I'm glad you're asking me about them and not, something else. But so yeah, it's special, and that's when you have really special coaches, and that's part of what being here is about. It's about that connection, not only to a great university and a great athletic department and your team experience, but to great people like your coaches, your head coach, your assistant coach, all those people make a difference.
We've already had some great moments athletically, some big wins for women's soccer. I mean, we could go on, but you and I both played football here, and there's a special place in our heart for the football team and for the Big House. Saturday night, do you still have great feelings and excitement for that very first kickoff of the season?
100, yeah. Listen. The game I get most nervous about is obviously the game at the end of the season.
Yeah.
But the first game, walking through that tunnel and going down on the field and starting the season, what I reflect on is back to my first time. Because I got a bunch of first-year players in that locker room who are going to run out the field for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see them on the field pre-game, and I'm talking to some of them who I know is in their first year, either freshmen or transfers in, I say to them all, enjoy it. The first time, it's going to be unbelievable when you run out there. And so it makes me reflect on my time running out there. Man, I can still see it as a freshman, being in the back, running out, everybody just trying not to trip.
Just don't trip.
Everybody tells you that. Don't be the one that trips. And then just going out, seeing and touching the banner for the first time, it's still a vivid memory for me. And so, yeah, that is a game that I look forward to every year.
Well, Ward, thanks for joining me. It's been a lot of fun. I always enjoy the conversation, and enjoy Saturday night. Enjoy the rest of the year, and best of luck to all the Michigan teams, to you, as we enter this new athletic year.
Yeah, listen, always a great pleasure. Congrats again on your Hall of Honor, and I look forward to having you and Doug make the calls again this season for our team.
We'll see if we can get some wins.
Yes, sir. That's the plan.